I hope that as we gather together today, you are each inspired to dig a little deeper. Mental health does not just inflict the rich or the poor, or Republicans or Democrats, or the rural or the urban. It impacts all of us. I know that personally. And today, I'm also so honored to be joined here by some sisters in Christ who made an effort to come. One is a mother. She lives in Petersburg. She's been very, very brave about talking to me. I met her through a pastor, and we sat down and we had a visit. She's been fighting her own substance use demons. It's an ongoing battle, and she's proving to be victorious. I'm so proud of her. And Angie, we are so distinctly proud of your bravery and your faithfulness, and we are cheering for you, and so glad that you've joined us here today, because everyone is here because of people just like you, because we love you and care about you. And this is a story that's just becoming too familiar to too many Virginians, to too many Americans, to too many around the globe. It is a poison that we have got to stem the tide of. It is a poison that takes innocent lives unknowingly. And Jill, thank you for your advocacy in this space. We're so excited you're partnering with us. The Rogers family are from Warrington. They lost their daughter to a suicide. Morgan was a beautiful 22-year-old girl, lacrosse player at Duke University, had everything in front of her and took her life. Last but not least, I want to tell you a story about a mother who I hold near and dear. This mother noticed in her teenage daughter a little bit of despondence. I'm sure none of us have experienced that with our teenage daughters. A little too much sleepiness, a little too much lax attitude about school and things. And this daughter left home. They didn't think very much of it, but then this daughter actually went into a crisis mode. And at one point when this daughter was having a particularly bad scenario, she had stopped taking her medicine, and they were working tirelessly. This family was working tirelessly, even watching her take her pills. And she got very fearful, and she put her precious daughters in a car, and she decided it was time to speed away from the demons that were traumatizing her. And she ran at over 100 miles per hour into a tree. And she killed herself, she killed Victoria, she killed Faith. But you know, this grandmother knew where those three beautiful people were going, because she believed in a steadfast God. And this precious friend is our Lieutenant Governor, Winsome Earl Sears. So what we're dealing with today, like I said, is personal. This is something that is wrecking lives, but there's so much hope. I'm a big believer that God brings green growth out of ashes, right? So we're going to be talking a little bit about some of the ashes in Virginia right now, some of the systems that may not be working, some of the systems that really deserve attention, but it's really about the people. It's on the people that those systems serve. Every single Virginian who is made in the image of God deserves the utmost care, and we are so thrilled to be here today.
When we tackle big challenges like transforming behavioral health, we will always be motivated by what you all do, motivated by your loved ones, motivated by what you've been through. Properly addressing mental health and substance use disorder may be one of the most important issues that we will face during my term as governor. All across Virginia, whether in urban or rural communities, in families of all income levels, in our homes, our schools, our places of worship, our workplaces, and particularly amongst our military and our veterans, we face a level of mental health and substance use issues never seen before. So let's be clear. Here in Virginia, we are in a crisis. You or someone that you know has been affected by mental health issues, by the scourge of addiction. You may have received that unbelievable or unforgettable call that your friend or a child of a loved one has been lost to suicide or overdose. You may have had a coworker who spiraled out of their job because of anxiety or depression. God forbid your family or friends may have been directly impacted by the shootings in Charlottesville or in Chesapeake. Or you might have simply been seeking help for yourself or for a child who didn't know where to turn. Frankly, the Commonwealth's behavioral health safety net is not equipped to address the demands that are being placed upon it. Almost 1.5 million Virginians have some form of mental health challenge. About 340,000 of those have serious mental illness. And yet 6 out of 10 adults with any form of mental illness did not receive any form of treatment. Our jails, emergency rooms, and hospitals are filled with people in mental health or substance use crisis. Law enforcement is overwhelmed. Our teachers are burned out. Our healthcare heroes are at their wits' end. Parents and families feel lost and alone, and too many Virginians are afraid. Despite the incredible amount of knowledge and technology at their fingertips, our young people across Virginia remain incredibly fragile. Loneliness, depression, suicidal thoughts, anxiety, and even addiction are more common today than at any time in the past and are affecting children at a much earlier age. I have to say how proud I am that this is one of the principal issues that the First Lady is focusing on. That's increasing awareness. The awareness surrounding fentanyl poisoning and truly helping young people make wise choices. That's why she and our Attorney General, Jason Miyares, launched the One Pill Can Kill public awareness initiative around the dangers of counterfeit drugs and fentanyl. So the work starts today. The work starts today to stand on the shoulders of a broad bipartisan effort to strengthen behavioral health in the Commonwealth that has taken place over the last 15 years. Senators Deeds, Hanger, Barker, Bell, Favola, and oh, by the way, Senators Donovan and so many others, along with delegates Orrick, Bell, Hope. You have all done yeoman's work. Senator Creed Deeds has used his own tragic personal experience to save the lives of so many others. That's selfless work. This challenge calls for much more than evolution. It calls for a revolution. It's past time for major systemic changes to our behavioral health system, both public and beyond. We must take a bold approach. Virginians deserve the right help right now. As Ronald Reagan once said, a lot of very complex things are very simple if you can think them through. And we think this through in a very, very collaborative and thorough way. We must invest more resources and focus on all 3 areas of pre-crisis preventive services, in-crisis care, and post-crisis recovery and support. And to do that, we must make our in-crisis care services work much, much better. Together, we can fundamentally change how the Commonwealth approaches behavioral health, and we must move from slow evolution to accelerated revolution. Our plan is founded on 6 pillars. First, we must strive to ensure same-day care for individuals experiencing behavioral health crisis. Second, we must relieve the burden on law enforcement and reduce the criminalization of mental health. Third, we must develop more capacity through the entire system, going beyond hospitals, especially in community-based services. Fourth, we must provide targeted support for substance use disorder to prevent overdoses. Fifth, we must make the behavioral health workforce a priority, particularly in underserved communities. And lastly, we must identify innovations and best practices and run quickly to close capacity gaps. It will still take many other steps. It'll take other steps to accomplish our 3-year mission of fully transforming our behavioral health services. And we will get this done. It has to be holistic. It has to be a responsive system built on prevention and response and evidence-based treatment. But this is a giant step in that multi-step process. We must make a difference now in the lives of countless Virginians, and it must start now. Those who are struggling with anxiety, those that are struggling with depression, with loneliness, or with addiction, you are not alone. There are people and resources available to care for you. And if you need help right now, please call 988. Please call 988 so that we can connect you with the right resources. We can reach out to our neighbor or someone you know who is struggling. And it might be the most important thing we do. Friends, I want to thank you all again. I want to ask the Lord's blessing on all of you, and then I want to encourage us to all go to work. The time is now. God bless you.